Somewhere out there, in an attic, a garage, a shoebox at the back of a cupboard, there's a toy car worth more than a real Volkswagen bus. Not a Ferrari, a Hot Wheels car. One of them has reportedly sold for $175,000. And the reason? It wasn't special. It was a mistake, a design that failed so badly Mattel scrapped it, and a handful escaped the factory anyway. These are the 5 Hot Wheels worth more than most real cars. And stay to the end, because after number 1, there's a car worth $140,000 that nobody can find. Its owner has never come forward. Let's start at number 5. Number 5, the 1970 Red Baron. If you know Hot Wheels at all, you know this one. Tiny German helmet for a roof, huge exposed engine hanging out the front, iron cross on the top. It's one of the most recognizable castings the brand has ever made, and it was produced in big numbers. A normal one will cost you $50 or $60, but go and look inside the cabin. Almost every Red Baron ever made has a black interior. A very small number came out of the factory with a white one instead. That's it. That's the entire difference. Same casting, same paint, same wheels, one tiny plastic part in a different color. In 2018, one of those white interior Red Barons sold for $7,500. $7,500. For a detail you can only see if you pick the car up and squint into the windows. And this is the thing about Hot Wheels collecting that catches everybody out. It's almost never the car that makes the money. It's the variation. A color that shouldn't exist. A part that came from the wrong bin on the wrong day. Somebody on a production line in 1970 grabbed the wrong tray of interiors, and 50 years later, that mistake is worth more than a used car. Keep that idea in your head, because it only gets more extreme from here. Number 4, the Candy Striper Bel Air Gasser. This one's a 1955 Chevy Bel Air, jacked up at the front in classic gasser style, wearing bright candy stripes down the roof. It's a modern car, not a 1960s antique, and most of them are genuinely affordable. On eBay, the common versions trade for somewhere between $100 and $200. But in 2018, one of them sold for $15,500. Same car, same design. The difference? 2 things. It had pink stripes on the roof instead of the usual colors, a variation collectors chase hard. And critically, it was still sealed in its original blister pack. Never opened, never touched. That second part matters more than most people realize. In the collector world, the plastic bubble and the cardboard behind it can be worth more than the car inside it. The moment you tear that packaging open, you can wipe 80–90% off the value in about 2 seconds. So if you're sitting there right now thinking about a sealed Hot Wheels somewhere in your house, leave it sealed. I'm serious. That cardboard is the investment. Quick pause before number 3. If you're enjoying this, do me a favor and hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We cover cars, collectors, and the stories behind the machines every single week. And leave me a comment. What's the rarest Hot Wheels you've ever owned? I want to hear about it. Right. Number 3, and this is where the numbers start getting silly. Number 3. The 1969 Custom Charger. Based on the Dodge Charger, which by the end of the 60s was ruling drag strips across America. Hot Wheels made it in a whole range of SpectraFlame colors. That's the transparent paint sprayed over a polished metal body that gives those old cars their deep, liquid, metallic shine. Nothing modern looks like it. Most custom Chargers sell for somewhere between $100 and $500. Perfectly normal, collectible, nice thing to own. Then in October of 2021, a green Redline custom Charger sold on eBay for $20,000. $20,000. For a car that came off the same production line in the same year as ones you can buy today for the price of a takeaway. Same mold, same factory, different color. The word Redline, by the way, is the single most useful thing you'll learn in this video. Hot Wheels made between 1968 and 1977 have a thin red stripe printed around the outside of each tire. That's it. That's the tell. If you pick up an old Hot Wheels car and the tires have red lines on them, stop what you're doing and look it up properly. Those are the years where the real money lives. Now. Number 2 is where this stops being a hobby and starts being an investment. Number 2, the 1968 white enamel custom Camaro. The custom Camaro is a legend in its own right. It was one of the original 16 cars Hot Wheels launched with, and it was the very first Hot Wheels car ever to roll off the production line. Millions of people have owned one, but white ones were never sold. Not one. Not ever. Here's why they exist at all. During development, designers would spray a finished casting in plain white enamel because a flat white surface makes every flaw and every imperfection jump out at you. It was a quality control tool. Those cars were never meant to leave the building. But this is 1968 in a toy factory, and the people working there had children at home. The belief among collectors is simple. Designers pocketed a few and took them home for their kids to play with. That's how a handful of them slipped out into the world. One of those cars was found by Joel Magee, a collector known in the States as the Toy Scout, sitting in an ordinary carry case among a pile of other cars. He had it authenticated by experts. And it turned out to be even stranger than a normal white prototype, because this one has a chassis stamped made in Hong Kong, and nobody has ever been able to explain why. His estimate of what it's worth? At least $100,000. That car cost 59 cents when it was new, and number 1 makes even that look reasonable. Number 1. The 1969 pink rear-loading beach bomb. Every collecting hobby has one object that sits above everything else, and in Hot Wheels, this is it. A little Volkswagen microbus painted in Spectraflame hot pink with 2 surfboards sticking out through the back window. And it's the holy grail precisely because it didn't work. The whole point of Hot Wheels was speed, the orange track, the loops, the supercharger sets with spinning wheels that fired your cars around the room at scale speeds no other toy could match. Every casting had to survive that. So when Mattel designed the beach bomb with the surfboards loading through the rear window, they built a van that was too narrow at the base and far too heavy up top. It tipped over. It couldn't take the corners. It wouldn't run properly through the supercharger at all. It failed the one test that actually mattered. So Mattel killed it. The engineers went back, widened the whole body, added side panels to carry the surfboards, and the beach bomb you can buy today is that second, redesigned version. The original never went on sale anywhere in the world, but a small number of the original rear-loading prototypes had already been made, and a few of them got out. The pink one is the rarest of the lot. Fewer than a dozen are believed to exist anywhere in the world, and one of them has reportedly sold for $175,000. Now, I want to be straight with you about that number, because you'll see it quoted differently all over the internet. These are private sales between collectors, not public auctions with published results, and the reported figures range from around $150,000 up to $175,000. What nobody disputes is the ranking. This is the most valuable Hot Wheels car in existence, and it earned that title by being a failure. Which brings me to the car I promised you at the start. In 2008, Hot Wheels hit a milestone, the 4 billionth car they'd ever produced. And to market, they built something that has no business being called a toy at all. They took a design by Otto Kuhne, one of the earliest Hot Wheels designers that had never actually been put into production back in the day. They cast the body in 18-karat white gold, and then they set more than 2,700 diamonds into it. Exactly one exists. Late in 2008, it sold at a charity auction for $60,000. Today, it's valued at around $140,000, and here's the strange part. Nobody knows where it is. The owner has never publicly identified themselves. Somewhere in the world, in a safe or a vault or a very well-defended display case, there is a diamond-encrusted Hot Wheels car, and the collecting community has no idea who's holding it. Now, before I let you go and raid the loft, There's one more thing you need to know, because everything I've talked about so far is decades old, and you might be sitting there thinking you missed the boat entirely. You didn't. Hot Wheels are still hiding valuable cars in ordinary shops, right now, this year. They're called super treasure hunts. Every year, Mattel slips a small number of special versions into normal mainline cases, the same pegs, the same shops, the same $1 or $2 price. And there are three things that give them away. The car will have Spectraflame paint, that deep metallic shine I mentioned earlier. It'll have real rubber tires instead of plastic ones. And somewhere on the body, there'll be a small TH logo. On the packaging, look for a gold circle with a flame behind the car. Find one of those, and you're typically looking at anywhere from $30 to a couple of $100. And the hot ones can climb to 10, 20, even 40 times retail within weeks of hitting the shelves. So yes, people are still finding these in supermarkets this week. So what should you actually take from all this? Go and look. Seriously. If there's a box of old Hot Wheels somewhere in your family, your parents' loft, a garage shelf, a container you haven't opened since you were 12, go through it. Look for red lines on the tires. Look for that deep Spectraflame shine. Check the interior color. Check whether anything's still sealed. Most of it will be worth a couple of dollars. That's just the maths. But the entire reason these stories exist is that somebody, at some point, didn't know what they were holding. Tell me in the comments, do you still have your childhood Hot Wheels? Or did they all get destroyed on the living room floor like mine did? And if you found something in that box while watching this, I definitely want to hear about it. Hit like if you enjoyed this one, subscribe so you don't miss the next, and I'll see you in the next video.